name shall be.
Did you know that Christmas is the most dangerous holiday if you're a Christian? One of the greatest challenges of Christmas worship is the familiar words, the familiar stories that come into play of that first Christmas over and over and over again. Born of a virgin, shepherds keeping watch over their flock, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, the angel Mary being pledged to Joseph, the journey to Bethlehem for the census, Emmanuel. Each year, the same event, the same details, the same names, the same words, the same stories, often sung with the same songs, and it can be very sentimental, but at the same time be very dangerous if you're a Jesus follower, because it can become casual. This is because sentimental thoughts have a way of hijacking our hearts. You ever done something or made a decision in a moment because you felt like doing it? Maybe even it was sentimental to you, and later you regretted it deeply. See, those emotions and how we feel about the elements of the Christmas season, whether they're good or bad, can sabotage our focus, where our first default thoughts regarding the month of December can kind of be all about, how much we love or hate the decorating and the lights and the outside and the ladders and the hanging things, or how much we love or we hate the buying of gifts and the commercialism and all the advertisements and how that ropes the kids in, and maybe about how much you enjoy or don't enjoy the music or the style of the Christmas music or all the new songs when you just want the traditional stuff, or how much you hate the stress, the pressure of the month of December. Maybe it's how much you love getting to spend time with family members, or how much you're not looking forward to irritating family members, or maybe it's just simply the cold weather. Like some love it and can't wait to get out there on the slopes and be out playing in the snow and snow blowing and snow shoveling and snowshoeing and all of that. And others just, I just hate when it gets cold. Whatever it is, it takes an immense amount of discipline to push aside all the other distractions and focus our heart on the deeper core reality of this day and see the significance of the gift of Emmanuel. In fact, one of the most significant figures in the church, the history of the church, John Wesley, who founded the Methodist movement, on his deathbed with dying words, he said this. He said, "The best of all is God is with us." Without Christmas, without Emmanuel, the theology of Christianity begins to crumble. Without God stepping out of eternity and becoming man, coming here with us, there's no hope. There's no victory without that. Every other idea about Christianity is built on this foundation that God has come and dwelt among us. Every other idea in our world about God is humanity trying our best with morals and ethics to reach up and try to grasp the foot of God, grasp the attention of God, the acceptance of God. Christianity is the only one that establishes for us right up front that we can never reach high enough, never do enough, never be good enough in our own strength. And so our only hope is for God himself, where he is, to reach down and to elevate us up to where he is. I mean, think about it. The King of the universe, creator of everything, stepped into flesh and blood. And I want you, and wherever you might be today, and whoever you might be with, to just kind of push aside all the other sentimental, fun, and celebrative things that you enjoy about Christmas or that you loathe about Christmas Day. And for a few moments, I want you to allow your mind to deeply focus on just how significant this thought is, that God is with us. And I want you to think of it like a Christmas tree. At Christmas, everywhere you go, there are trees that have been decorated beautifully with lights, ornaments, candy canes, garland, and ribbon, and bows. Maybe in your house, like mine, there's even more than one Christmas tree. We have one upstairs that our kids decorate with homemade random ornaments and basic lights. I mean, it's just a mess of colors. But then there's the main tree in the family room in the basement that my wife decorates, and that one has to be perfect. It has to match. It has to be the iconic Christmas tree. And the rest of us, we're definitely not allowed to touch it. I'm not even sure if we have permission to look at it. Anyway, a Christmas tree, whether fake or real, it's composed of a trunk with branches and then pine needles attached to it. I remember growing up that when we would decorate our fake Christmas tree at home, my mom would often identify that the branches I'd attempted to spread out and decorate needed more attention, needed more work, because you could see the trunk of the tree from the outside. I would often blame her for poor managerial decisions in that she assigned this task to someone who was a 13-year-old boy who really didn't care about how the tree looked so long as it was filled underneath with presents. And I learned quickly the trunk was supposed to be hidden behind all the glitz and glamour of beauty adorned on the outside. But see, without the trunk at the center of the tree, there'd be no tree. In our culture, we're inundated with the pull and the charm of the Christmas season. I mean, think the colors, the lights, the decorations, the gifts, the parties, the schedules, the trees, the things for our kids, the events, places in the park and activities. They're everywhere. And often, even as Jesus followers, when Christmas Day arrives, we can't even really see the trunk of the tree. We can't see what it is that's holding up Christmas at its center. The truth that supports everything else about Christmas, everything else about our faith, because we're so distracted with all the ornaments that are blocking our view. Emmanuel, that's the center. That's the trunk of the Christian tree. The virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and you shall call his name Emmanuel. That means God with us. What we have here is the love of God initiating towards us. God so loving the world that he moves towards us on earth. We call this the incarnation, the eternal God stepping into our reality, eternity intersecting reality, God with us. Jesus breaks this barrier of who God is. God becomes relatable. God wants to be with us. He wants a relationship with us, not just now in this moment, but forever. In fact, this initial announcement by the angel to the shepherds, confirming the word of the prophet Isaiah 700 years before, the angel shows up, tells the shepherds, Emmanuel, God is with us. He's here. He's present. This is a momentous moment. He's with us. Are the same words Jesus would speak before his ascension into heaven. In fact, it's his final words out of his mouth at the Great Commission that he would share with those whose lives had been transformed by knowing him. And he said, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them and teaching them to obey everything I've commanded you. Surely I am with you always. Christmas is about us intentionally remembering how much Jesus did to be with us. Christmas is about us intentionally remembering how much Jesus gave to be with us. Christmas is about you and I remembering intentionally how much Jesus sacrificed to be with us. What are you sacrificing to be with him? What are you doing to engage with Jesus? How much are you giving up to be with him? Because he gave up it all. What is it that might be keeping you from being with Jesus or being near to him? How close are you to him? How much do you sense his presence in your life? And maybe there's a habit in your life that's keeping you away. Maybe that you keep seeking a personal pleasure that's sinful and it's keeping you distant from him. Maybe it's just a schedule thing. Maybe you're flat out too busy to experience life with Jesus because you're allowing good things to become God things. Is this Christianity stuff? Is it just head knowledge? Is it just content? Or do you really believe it? Is it real? Are you with Jesus? Because he came here to be with you. So today of all days, remember that. Jesus came as a promise from God to be with you, to save you, to redeem you, and commit this next year. Not just to go through the motions, not just to participate in the rituals, not even to engage in the traditions and allow them to become sentimental. Don't give God your leftovers. Make time with Jesus the highest priority in reverence to the one who gave all to be with you. Then Christmas won't be dangerous for you. It won't cause you to miss the heartbeat of God. But rather, Christmas will keep reminding you that the greatest gift we could ever be given is God with us, because that matters more. That's the center of the Christian tree. From my family to yours, I just want to say, Merry Christmas.
A king is born in Bethlehem. Our joy is born. We seek the light that leads to the hallowed manger of God. But here we fell in the silent day. 400 years and he be found. But broken heart, a baby's cry. Rejoice in the hallowed manger of God.